Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Brad Everton, Family Relationships Expert. Congratulations for taking the time to invest in yourself so you can learn about this great tool that can completely transform your life. It's called Above the Line and Below the Line. It's a nice tool to see where you are operating from. Are you operating from above the line or are you operating from below the line? Your goal is to be operating above the line as much as possible. I will show you how it works in a moment. But first, let me describe the different ways that you can use it. You want to first and foremost use it with yourself. You can share it with your family. You can use it with your business. And if you're a coach, you can share it with your clients and the teams you work with. You can use it to check to see if you are on track or off track with your thinking. You can also use it as a checkup for your mindset or for your attitude. Another way you can use it is to see if you or others are practicing stinking thinking. That's my term for negative thinking. You can also use this as a guiding principle to manage your life. The key question you want to ask yourself with this tool is, am I operating above the line or below the line? So let's get started. Below the line. The letters below the line are an acronym, and we have the letters B, the letter E, and the letter D, which is the word bed. Now, as you can see, this is not your normal bed. It's not your typical bed. As this picture shows, it's more the nightmare for a bed. The picture depicts ruin, devastation, and carnage. Things are broken, nothing is tidy, it looks like chaos, there is no order, and it doesn't look like a place that you want to live in or sleep in for that matter. The harsh reality is, this is where a lot of people live when it comes to their mindsets. I would even say that the majority of the population would spend a lot of their time below the line. It could even be you, or maybe it's a family member, a loved one, or somebody at work. Now let's take a closer look at what these letters stand for. So the B stands for blame, the E stands for excuses, and the D stands for denial. Let's take a look at each word and what they stand for. With blame, as you can see with the picture next to it, you have somebody pointing the finger presumably at somebody else. Now, whenever you point the finger at somebody in terms of blaming somebody else, what you will notice is you have three fingers pointing right back at you. That's something that we should keep in mind with regards to blame. Then we have the word excuses. Now, with excuses, people are essentially saying it's not my fault. It's coming up with some reason why they can't move forward with their life. Then we have the word denial. Denial in many respects is lying to oneself. I'll also share another great tool called the 3 demons of staying stuck. Now, one of the demons of staying stuck is denial. When people are in denial about their problem or their situation, there is no way that they can move forward. It is important to keep these 3 words in mind, which is linked with below the line thinking. Now, if we were to look at and sum up these 3 words, below the line thinking is basically living in the land of the victim. It's the victim mindset and the victim mentality. And remember the picture of the ruined bed? I sometimes think of these words when I see that ruined bed. And the words are, you made your bed, now you lie in it. I know that sounds harsh and cruel, but I'm sure that nobody would want to lie in that bed. There is no way that anybody can feel comfortable sleeping in something like that. And I also believe that nobody really feels comfortable using blame, excuses, and denial as a way to run their lives. As I said before, this is where a lot of people do live when it comes to their mindset. It's their default way of thinking. They've turned it into a habit. But it doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. There is hope, and there is a better way. So what do you do when you recognize you're living in the land of the victim? Let's face it, we all go there from time to time. And what you want to avoid is spending too much time there, because now you know that is living below the line. So now let's look at above the line. Above the line we also have a three-letter word. It's also an acronym, and the letters are O, the letter A, and the letter R. And that gives us the word all. Now the picture we have essentially represents smooth sailing and calm waters. It doesn't mean you won't experience choppy waters from time to time, and that you don't experience hardship. It just means that you approach it in another way. You manage it without blame, excuses, or denial. The thoughts that go through my mind are stay calm, keep rowing, and you'll get there. And this is where we want to stay most of the time, above the line. Now let's look at what those letters stand for. The O stands for ownership. The A stands for accountability. And the R stands for responsibility. Ownership is not about being in denial. It's acceptance, it's acknowledgement about where things are at, including taking ownership for the problems we have in our life. As the picture shows, it is also about taking ownership of your success. Then we have accountability. Accountability is mostly about being accountable for our results and accountable for our outcomes. Now, even with the goal-setting literature, they often talk about getting an accountability partner. I know I have mentors in several of the big areas of my life, and that keeps me accountable. Next, we have responsibility. The phrase that I think around responsibility is, if it's going to be, it's up to me. What that says is that we need to take control and manage where things are in our lives. It's stepping up to the plate and taking action. Now these three words are all about staying above the line. Once again, they are ownership, accountability, and responsibility. Now this is the land of the victor. It's the victor mindset. It is also linked to moving forward with one's life as opposed to moving backwards and not procrastinating or not going anywhere at all. To sum it up, taking ownership of your dreams, taking ownership of your problems. Also to be accountable for your results and be responsible to change your actions so you get what you want out of life. Be that joy, happiness, success, or whatever it is that you want. Now let's look at how this all looks when we bring it together in one picture and summarize it for you. So above the line we have ownership, accountability, and responsibility. And remember, that's where we want to stay most of the time. Now that's the land of the victor. Below the line, we have blame, excuses, and denial. And that's the land of the victim. Above the line equates to stepping in the right direction and moving forward in our lives. And below the line equates to heading in the wrong direction and moving backwards. Harsh but true, above the line can be linked to success and below the line can be linked to failure. I know this will be tough for people who identify they're mostly living below the line. Remember, if you can acknowledge it, then that gives you a starting point, which is a lot better than being in denial. I also know the mentors I have in my life are all operating above the line. As a matter of fact, some of them would not even contemplate taking on a mentoring student who predominantly operates below the line. Here's a nice quote from Napoleon that explains this concept of above the line and below the line quite nicely. The words are, "I see only the objective, the obstacle must give way." Now, doesn't that explain what taking ownership, accountability, and responsibility is all about? That's staying above the line. However, here's what I believe the majority of the people do. They do the reverse. They see only the obstacle and their objective must give way. And if you're only focusing on the obstacle and not focusing on your objective, then you are living below the line. So finally, the operating question we need to be asking ourselves at all times to get the most from this really great tool above the line and below the line is, am I operating above the line or below the line? You see, I call it the operating question because that's the question that will make this work. That's the question you ask yourself and you answer honestly. Here's a big tip. You can also ask this question in all of the big areas of your life. You can ask this question about your career, your relationships, your health, and your finances. So there you have it. What a great tool. Above the line and below the line. Here's another great tip. Share this tool with your family members. If you do, keep in mind that you may very well have your family members come to you and ask you the operating question. Are you operating above the line or below the line? Remember, they may hold you accountable. Also, you don't want to force this onto other people. It's their choice if they choose to play with it and implement it into their lives. The one thing that I can guarantee is that they are most likely to get better outcomes playing above the line than below the line. And something else you must also keep in mind, and that is that it is probably unrealistic to stay above the line all of the time. At times we all slip below the line, but the key is to get back above the line as quickly as you can. So if you've enjoyed this video, please share it with others whom you believe may see the benefit of this great tool. Also, if you liked what I shared today and you want access to other great tools and strategies, here's what you can do. But first, imagine what it would be like to feel more calm and composed in the face of conflict, to know how to help your kids so they grow up healthy and confident, to have new ways to make your parenting experience more enjoyable. Well, you can, and you will discover much, much more. Here's how. I'd like to invite you to watch my webinar, which is normally priced at $97, but if you act now, it is only $7. In it, I will reveal the 5 secrets to eliminating conflict in the home and raising happier, calmer, and more confident children. If you want to make a decision right now to get better outcomes for yourself and for your family, then go to your browser now and type in www.backontrackparenting.net/training. The truth is, if you stick to the status quo, things are likely to be the same a week, a month, and who knows, even 12 months or more from now. Maybe they'll be better, or maybe they'll be worse, but things can't get better unless you work at it. Here's one thing I know for sure. If you keep doing what you've always been doing, you'll keep getting what you've always been getting. So take action now by registering for my 60-minute webinar, normally priced at $97, which you can get for only $7. I guarantee it will be the best $7 investment that you have made in yourself and your family. So take advantage of this great offer and go now to your browser and type in www.backontrackparenting.net/training and discover these powerful new skills to put you in the right path to become the best parent you can. Thank you for watching, and may you get great results from practicing above and below the line.